He will find you and he will kill you. Hey everyone, welcome to Cinema, where we focus on a film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know in the comments below how you'd rank the Taken franchise from your least favorite to your favorite. And let's have a nice, lovely discussion. I'm watching action movies this month, so if there's an action franchise you would like to see me rank, let me know that down in the comments below, and I may get around to it if I can. But going right into it, at last place, we have the Taken 2. One that really has a compliment to its scenery, to its new setting for this movie. What they're having for this isn't necessarily feeling like it was necessarily planned out in the first place. There's a decent enough story that leads up from the first as a sequel, and what this film has to bring still brings a lot of fun Liam Neeson action, because I am a particular fan of all of his work, even in the action category, where it's not necessarily as good of a writing story, and this one is no premise to what they have to do. And there's certain actions where, of course, it's a revenge that the villains have against Liam Neeson, Brian Mills, and his mother and his wife, and what they have to do all throughout the film isn't necessarily the most clever of stories, but it does its job right. It has a good final action battle in the end, and what they have all throughout brings about the normal Liam Neeson antics that you expect, that still makes it a good time. And coming in number 2, we have Taken 3, one that builds up high adrenaline with the rush that it has. It doesn't have the most clever of storylines, but it still builds up the most antics that goes about this film, that has a lot of fun action, goes about this thing that you're unsuspecting, and builds up the stakes by killing off a particular character that puts the blame on Liam Neeson as Brian Mills for what they have to go about this film doing. And Liam Neeson is always on the run, having to figure out how to go on to the next step, figuring out the killer of what his particular character is going after. Well, all of a sudden, the police are always after him throughout this film, which makes it very different, at least as a sequel, for what you're expecting out of this franchise. But that leaves at number 1, Taken 1, that is iconic and put Liam Neeson on the map for action movies. Whether for better or worse, this one is still clever as the own premise that is still original in some sense for what they're doing. It is not necessarily one to be taken seriously, because it still goes about all of the crazy motions and motion actions that shouldn't necessarily be able to be survived, certain falls or whatnot, but taking it as it is, as a guilty pleasure, especially that you can just enjoy your time having the action throughout the film, and also going into the subject matter that are darker about sexual abuse and prostitutes and everything that is going on in the background to this film that should be taken to a more serious tone. Even though it only touches on those matters, it builds up the stakes around that, while also exploring different motives to the villains, having these antics that flow throughout with the good action you expect, that sets up what Liam Neeson is expected to do, what these stories are expected to have, and still establishes a good groundwork while not having the most dark tone. It still delivers on what the mood you're expecting for these action films, even if they're not the most serious to be taken granted for. They still deliver as a whole, and this one in particular is the best of them. So that's just my ranking of the Taken trilogy from my least favorite to my favorite, and I'd love to see you join in the comments down below what you would think of this Taken franchise, and if you like it as a whole, or if you're just not a fan of it. And be sure to check out my other videos, and be sure to recommend any other action movies that you would like to see me rank on this channel as we're going into action month. So that's just all. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.